This is the sound of Trump. I've
never heard it in a French like that.
Excuse me, many people are saying. 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 Crazy, 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 crooked, stupid, evil, stupid, crooked, crazy, crazy, stupid.
Donald Trump might be the most powerful man in the world right now, but there's one guy who's been absolutely cooking him for decades, and Trump can't do a single thing about it. We're talking about Dana Carvey, the man who turned presidential impressions into an art form. The guy who made George H.W. Bush more memorable on Saturday Night Live than Bush was in the actual Oval Office. And now he's turned that same laser focus on Donald Trump. And honestly, it might be the funniest, most savage takedown of a sitting president we've seen in years. Because while Trump has spent his entire political career trying to intimidate, threaten, and silence every comedian who dares to crack a joke about him, Dana Carvey just keeps showing up, doing the voice, doing the hands, doing the face, and leaving audiences in absolute tears.
And then they say, President Trump. And Trump goes, what he said. What he said, what he said. He's a smart cookie. He's a tough cookie. He's a cookie monster. This one, he's smart. Everybody talks about it. He's like a ship so high. Excuse me.
Dana Carvey isn't some random comedian who decided to take a few shots at the president during a late-night set. This is a guy who has been studying politicians the way a surgeon studies anatomy for over 40 years. Dana Carvey joined Saturday Night Live back in 1986 and spent 7 seasons on that show, creating some of the most iconic characters in television history. The church lady, Gar from Wayne's World, Hans in France. But his real superpower, presidential impressions. His George H.W. Bush was so good, so embedded in popular culture that people genuinely started confusing Carvey's catchphrases with things the actual president said wouldn't be prudent. Not gonna do it. Bush on national television. Bush didn't throw a tantrum. He didn't threaten to sue. He didn't call for the FCC to investigate Saturday Night Live. You know what he did? He invited Dana Carvey to the White House. After Bush lost the 1992 election, he literally brought Carvey in to cheer up the staff. They became lifelong friends. Bush would call Carvey on the phone randomly, send him notes, and do charity events with him. Bush once said that the fact that they can laugh at each other is a very fundamental thing. That's class. That's grace. That's what it looks like when a president is secure enough in himself to take a joke.
I think you are so brilliant. And I think a lot of people did not realize, I just want to go back for a second, that you had this 25-year friendship with President George H.W. Bush.
A real friendship. It was really, really
I did not realize that. I read that in the notes, and I thought, oh my God.
He never took it personally, right?
No. I mean, he loses the election. I make fun of him on Saturday Night Live. Then he invites me to the White House, and my wife and I stayed in the Lincoln bedroom.
No kidding.
For 2 nights. Ooh. And all anyone wanted to know was whether we made love in the Lincoln bedroom. I'm serious. Did you do it? Did you? You know, I'm like, I'm not going to say.
You have to.
Well, I'm not going to say, but my son's middle name is Abe. My point.
Now, compare that to Donald Trump. Just compare it, because the contrast could not be more embarrassing for the current president. Where Bush laughed, Trump sees. Where Bush made a friend, Trump makes an enemy list. And the thing is, Dana Carvey hasn't even been that harsh. He's not out here calling Trump names or making it personal. He's doing what he's always done, finding the rhythms, the quirks, music, the weird little verbal tics that make a person funny. And Trump has a lot of them. Carvey has explained his approach to the Trump impression multiple times. He says Trump always sounds like he's pitching a family vacation. He described Trump as being like a Batman villain because of the helicopter, the plane, the giant gold letters. Everything screams supervillain, and Carvey means that in the most affectionate comedic way possible. But Trump doesn't see it that way. Trump never sees it that way.
Told me that you were talking about him on stage as being kind of a villain, like he's a superhero villain.
Why? Well, because he's got the helicopter that says Trump and the plane, everything Trump, and there's giant orange head. It's like, he's like a Batman villain to me. I mean, you'll never get away with this, Trump.
You know, I think I will, okay?
Because here's what Trump does when comedians make fun of him. He doesn't laugh. He doesn't shrug it off. He goes to war. And I'm not being dramatic. This is documented, verified, reported on behavior that has escalated dramatically in his second music term. Let's go through the receipts. Back in 2019, during his first term, Trump went on a Twitter rampage after a Saturday Night Live rerun aired that mocked him. He called the show not funny and said it had no talent. But then he went further. He literally asked on social media in public, whether the Federal Election Commission or the FCC should look into Saturday Night Live. He suggested the show was essentially an illegal campaign contribution to the Democratic Party. Think about that. His own lawyers had to sit him down and explain that satire is protected speech under the First Amendment. And you know what Trump reportedly said after that? He asked, "Can something else be done about it?" That is genuinely wild. The man wanted to use the full machinery of the federal government to shut down jokes.
Trump tweeted, "How do the networks get away with these total Republican hit jobs without retribution? Very unfair and should be looked into. This is the real collusion." That tweet came after this sketch.
So I'm going to sign these papers for emergency, and then I'll immediately be sued, and the ruling will not go in my favor, and then I'll end up in the Supreme Court, and then I'll call my buddy Kavanaugh, and I'll say it's time to repay the Donnie, and he'll say, "New phone, who dis?" And but then the Mueller report will be released, crumbling my house of cards, and I can just plead insanity and do a few months in the puzzle factory. And my personal hell of playing president will finally be over.
And fast forward to his second term. It's gotten so much worse. In July 2025, CBS announced that The Late Show with Stephen Colbert would not be renewed. Trump was overjoyed. He posted on Truth Social, "I absolutely love that Colbert got fired. His talent was even less than his ratings." Then he immediately pivoted to his next target. "I think Jimmy K is next. Has even less talent than Colbert." This is the president of the United States actively cheering for comedians to lose their jobs because they made fun of him. Let that sink in. Then came September 2025 and the Jimmy Kimmel situation. Trump immediately took a victory lap on Truth Social, falsely claiming the show had been canceled and then calling on NBC to fire Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers, too. The president of the United States was out here trying to get every single late-night comedian fired one by one because they told jokes about him.
But tonight, we are all Jimmy Kimmel. I still have a show, though, right? Okay, good. Yesterday, after threats from Trump's FCC chair, ABC yanked Kimmel off the air indefinitely. That is blatant censorship.
When Trump went to the United Kingdom, he was asked about late-night shows. His response was that they only attack Trump, and because they are licensed, they are not permitted to do that. The leader of the free world said, "Comedians are not permitted to make fun of him." Stephen Colbert fired back, "Yes, we are." Since the beginning, these shows have always commented on the sitting president. And presently, that is you, and this pattern hasn't stopped. Just this February at the 2026 Grammy Awards, comedian Trevor Noah made a joke about Trump wanting Greenland because Epstein's island is gone. He needs a new one to hang out with Bill Clinton. It was a joke, a Grammy Awards joke. And Trump immediately went to Truth Social and threatened to sue Trevor Noah, calling him a poor, pathetic, talentless dope. Legal experts unanimously said the lawsuit would go nowhere because satire is protected speech. But that's not the point for Trump. The point is intimidation. The point is to make comedians think twice before they open their mouths. Interview 7. And this is exactly why what Dana Carvey is doing matters so much. Because while other comedians are getting suspended, threatened with lawsuits, and pressured into silence, Carvey just keeps going. When Saturday Night Live kicked off its 50th season in September 2024, Carvey came back to play Joe Biden alongside Maya Rudolph as KLA Harris and James Austin Johnson as Trump. He was brilliant. He nailed Biden's squint, the whisper then yell cadence, the random non-sequiturs. His Biden would say things like, "A lot of people forget I'm president, even me." And the audience went absolutely wild. But then the election happened. Dana Carvey walked out as Elon Musk bouncing around in a black dark MAGA hat and declared, "Seriously, I run the country now. America is going to be like one of my rockets. They're super cool and super fun, but there's a slight chance it could blow up and everybody dies." The audience lost it.
Seriously, I run the country now. And America's gonna be like one of my rockets, you know, they're super cool and super fun. But there's a slight chance it could blow up and everybody dies. Anyway, I'm Doc Mega. See you in the White House. USA! USA!
Now, Elon Musk, sure, who by this point had donated nearly $120 million to Trump's campaign, was not happy. He went on his own platform X and called SNL a dying show. He said, "Dana Carvey just sounds like Dana Carvey." He said the show had been dying slowly for years and was increasingly out of touch with reality. Classic billionaire stuff. You can't laugh at me. You're irrelevant. Meanwhile, the video got almost 6 million views on YouTube. So who's really out of touch? And Carvey, he didn't back down. Not even a little bit. When he appeared on Real Time with Bill Maher in March 2025, he went right back to it. He did his Trump impression what he said. He's a smart cookie. He's a tough cookie. He's a cookie monster. This one, he's smart. Everybody talks about it. He's Chip Saoli. And then he pulled out his work in progress Elon Musk impression, mumbling about going Mars. The audience was in stitches. Ma could barely get a word in. The whole segment essentially turned into the Dana Carvey show, and nobody was complaining. Here's what really separates Dana Carvey from everybody else in this conversation. He's not angry. He's not bitter. But once he found the whisper and the yell, it all clicked. And the key thing Carvey has said, the thing that explains why he keeps doing this even when the political environment around comedy has become genuinely dangerous, is that his goal is to make the impression funny to everybody, not just Democrats, not just people who hate Trump. Everybody. He said with Biden, if I can make Biden funny to everybody, then I am where I want to be. That's the approach. That's why he works. Because when you watch Carvey do Trump, you're not watching a political hit job. You're watching a guy who genuinely finds the absurdity funny and wants you to find it funny, too.
Whatever your politics are, it was funny when there were fires in California. The whole state was on fire. Trump comes out. I guess they got him in a room and told him about land management. The whole state's on fire. And Trump comes out and goes, you gotta rake the leaves. You gotta rake.
And that's exactly what drives Trump crazy, because he can't dismiss Carvey as a partisan hack. He can't say Carvey only goes after Republicans. The man spent a decade becoming best friends with a Republican president. He can't say Carvey has no talent. The man is widely regarded as the greatest impressionist SNL has ever produced. He can't say the show is irrelevant. SNL just completed its historic 50th season. Trump has literally no card to play here. His usual playbook, threaten, music discredit, bully, intimidate, doesn't work on a 70-year-old comedy legend who's been doing this since before Trump even thought about running for president. That's the beautiful irony of this whole thing. Trump has spent his career trying to control the narrative. He's gone after networks, threatened lawsuits, pressured the FCC, gotten hosts suspended, celebrated cancellations. But Dana Carvey just walks onto a stage, does the hands, does the voice, does the squint, and turns the most powerful man in the world into a guy who sounds like he's trying to sell you a timeshare in Florida. And there's absolutely nothing Trump can do about it. Nothing. Because at the end of the day, the joke is protected, the impression is brilliant, and the audience is laughing.